We have a viewer who wants to talk about subsidies to the renewable energy industries. This viewer contends that those are sunsetting in the next couple of years. This viewer also thinks that if that's the case, the subsidy should sunset to the fossil fuel industries. I think there's a broader question here at the base of this dealing with the whole question of renewable energy. Let's start with you, Representative Emmer. What can you tell us about that issue?
I think it was my first term in Congress. We passed a bill that dealt with certain, and these aren't subsidies, these were credits, tax credits.
Right.
It had to do with wind, it had to do with solar, it had to do with, actually geothermal might have gotten carved out by mistake, if I remember right. Yeah, biodiesel. Your questioner is correct. Again, if we would have started where we should have started, where everybody plays in a free market and the government stays out of the marketplace, okay, then you're good. I think what the government tried to do because of benefits that were bestowed on energy producers, energy sources that came before, is trying to allow others choices to enter the marketplace. And I do believe that's just about done. You see incredible demand for some of these alternative energy sources today.
Well, the ethanol tax credit we got rid of. So we no longer subsidize ethanol. What we do have in place is this RFS that says we're going to use a certain amount of ethanol in our fuel system. And there's been a contentious situation. The administration has kind of gone back and forth on this. In the campaign, the president campaigned for E15, and we finally got it done here a couple months ago. But now they're giving waivers to these refineries that's undercutting the E15 mandate. So the way we've done it with ethanol is to, try to help us, get our place in the marketplace. The idea that somehow or another you're going to take away the tax benefits of the oil industry, I think you're kidding yourself. I just spent this afternoon at the Pine Bend Refinery down here, right south. And I would say, that, I don't know if this could be done or not, but that people should go down there and actually find out what's going on. They're not complaining about ethanol. They need ethanol because they need octane. And what ethanol does is gives octane to the fuel system. So there's a lot more to this than meets the eye.
It's always more complicated than
we got the biodiesel
suggest.
situation, which they still have a tax credit. And frankly, with the price of soybean oil, without the tax credit, it's very hard for them to be competitive. And it's wind and solar and these other.
But those are going to sunset.
Yeah, well, and we haven't extended them because, these extenders didn't get done, and that's hanging out there. But people want us to move away from the traditional sources to these renewable energy sources, and that's what we're trying to do. The Minnesota legislature has done it, and we've done it at the federal level. We're making progress. It's not perfect, but we're making progress.
So I think this viewer is suggesting that the viewer is concerned about subsidies to fossil fuel industries. Are there such subsidies, and is there any talk about doing anything with those? I want to ask for that person's question.
Yes and no. Although I guess I don't understand. The subsidies are not.
Well, what I think they're talking about, the oil industry gets a 15% depletion allowance with no cap on it. So you could end up writing off, twice what your cost is under that depletion allowance. So that's one of the things that people complain about. But other than that, the oil industry uses the same tax deductions that any other business uses. So you're going to tell them they can't take their ordinary business expenses?
So, but the depletion allowance would be something that might be a target in this kind of situation.
Well, it's been talked about, but they've never been able to, make any progress in changing it.
On either side.
Yeah, so I just don't think it's a useful endeavor. We just passed a tax bill, and we're not going to go back to that anytime soon, I don't think, other than maybe fix some of the problems that you always have when you do a new tax bill.
Extenders.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's it's a good soundbite, but I don't think it's too realistic.